Before we start, there are 3 important stocks that I'm going to talk about later and some big news in regards to them. So stay tuned for that. What's going on, people? Back with a bang. This is the Money Management. Happy Sunday. Today, I'm just going to jump into a couple different charts for you guys, review them, analyze them. And to be honest, that's going to be it. So it's just basically a weekly watch list for this week. As you guys may know, or you may not know, tomorrow the markets are closed. So they will resume open again Tuesday. So it's a 4-day trading week, guys. And today I would just like to start off by jumping into the oil sector and looking at ExxonMobil, ticker symbol XOM. So the reason I'm doing this right now is because recently, the last, I'd say 6 to 8 weeks, oil has kind of gone under the radar. You know, there was a period of time back, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 months ago, when everyone was talking about oil, XLE, XOM, OXY, MRO, all of that. And now we're at the period where it's kind of died down, like the hype has died down, whereas oil itself is still up high. I mean, look at ExxonMobil. Okay, it's not as high as from back in November, but it's on its way there, and that's why I'm looking at it. This week I'm looking to see if it can retest those highs from November around 114.66. So that's just what, $1.50 gain. And I want to see if it continues this strong green uptrend. I mean, if you took the swing, which I mentioned in the Discord, you know, those calls, you definitely would have made a lot of profit over the past few trading days. This weird red candle here, but yeah, apart from that, it has been on a very strong run. Like I said, this weird red candle last Monday is something to be looked into, but yeah, it's been on a very strong run. So ExxonMobil's on my radar. Now let's jump to Netflix because they have earnings this week, Thursday. I'm intrigued to see how this plans out. Netflix is always an interesting one when it comes to earnings. And as you can clearly see, Netflix has been on a very nice, strong run over the last 3 weeks. Now, what are we going to see here? Well, if you zoom out on the chart, let's look back to where we were before Netflix famously tanked last year in April. We're back at those highs, guys. We're back at those levels. Obviously, we dropped down to, you know, the 160, 170 level, but now we're back up. So if you bought shares, by the way, congratulations, because you have doubled your money. Yes, you've made 100% returns from the lows Netflix dropped to last year to where it is now. And this was one of my long-term plays, which I mentioned. Could have got shares a lot cheaper, but hey, there's still plenty of room for it to run. So earnings is this Thursday. I would love to see how this pans out on the way to earnings. I think we start moving towards that 410 mark again after earnings, but let's just see how earnings plays out first. Who knows? Earnings comes and we might just blow this out of the water. So that shall be interesting. Now let's jump over to a different sector. Let's look at the airlines. As you guys know, I've been doing a lot of traveling recently and have more travel plans coming up ahead. But I'm going to look at United Airlines, not only because it's in the travel sector, but also because they have earnings this Tuesday after close. So look at that. How many days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strong green candles in a row. And I fully expect this to continue. But first, I'm waiting to see a pullback back to this level right here, maybe a little bit lower, around $45, $46. And I honestly think because of this earnings, you know, is the first day of trading this week, because it's this first day of trading week, I'm going to wait until after earnings, see how it reacts, and then most likely play the calls again. United has been making a strong comeback since hitting those lows, and it is almost back at April's levels once again. So just like Netflix, it's almost back at last April's levels. April last year looked like a pretty good month, actually. So yeah, I'm looking at United Airlines as well. Then we're going to move over to the Chinese sector. Yep, a lot of different sectors today. Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA, $117. Unbelievable. The run it's made this month has been excellent. It is now trending towards that magical green line here, where I have a strong resistance at $120. So I'm looking to trade calls to around 120, but first looking at the pullback, maybe back to around 110. Now, bear in mind, it might just ignore my levels and just continue shooting up, go past 120, past 124. That is very possible. But like I said, I'm looking for a pullback first. Now, intraday, if we look at Alibaba, let's say the hourly chart, is trending nicely along the moving averages. Okay, So it might be one of those where it doesn't pull back all the way to 110, but it might pull back to this 1 hour support zone around 113, or just pull back to the moving averages here. So if you are looking at Alibaba, look at a few different time frames before you enter a trade. And if you're in my Discord, definitely throw it in the chat and ask first, because you can get a few different opinions from people who trade a lot of Chinese stocks, such as myself, who can give you a good idea of what we think, or tell you what we are seeing in the same charts. So yeah, like I said, look at a few different time frames, get a few different opinions before entering a trade on Alibaba. But I do think this could be a good trade to the upside. Now the next three stocks, please listen carefully, because they are all very interesting and I have some great news on all three of them. So let's start off with NVIDIA, ticker symbol NVDA. So we're heading over to the tech sector now. And my exciting news for this one is, well, we have been on a very strong run, but this week, something to look out for, something to know is the CEO actually sold $19 million in shares on the 9th of January, and then a further $14 million in shares on the 10th. Now, I'm wondering why he did that, but even though he did that, the stock price continued to rise. So obviously the tech sector, if you zoom out, is looking for the comeback season. We don't know when the comeback season is going to be, but hey, we've got a long way to go to get to the highs. But what I'm looking at with NVIDIA is a trend back up towards the $190 level. That is the price target, $190, okay? In fact, let me highlight that for you guys. $190 is the price target for NVIDIA. In fact, yeah, I almost mentioned AMD there, but AMD and Microsoft are also in the tech sector, so you might want to look at those. I'm going to use this horizontal line right here, okay? That's the price target. That green line there is the price target for AMD. Up around there. You see where it kind of double topped out last time? That is the price target, guys. Let me just move that a little bit. So along the way, there's going to be ups and downs, just like there were ups and downs on the way to the downside. Now there's ups and downs on the way to the upside. But let's say 3 months, 4 months, 5 months down the line, I'm fully expecting us to have hit this price target, this green line, before then. So keep that on your radar. Next, let's look at Tesla. And if you haven't heard, there were some very angry Tesla customers this week, because Tesla announced that on their two main models, they were going to be reducing the price, I think by about 7 or 8 grand. And so for those still waiting for their cars to be delivered, they would get that price off their car. But for those who already purchased and received, they were not getting that price cut. So those angry customers were storming Tesla stores in China, and I think they were demanding refunds of the price difference. But whether they have the right or not is not my business, not relevant here, but I did want to just announce that, so you could see more downside as I expect to see with Tesla. Here we just closed above the moving average. We managed to close above it 3 of the last 4 days of the week, but I'm looking at it to get rejected here and start downtrending again. I still think we see a $100 Tesla price sooner rather than later. Looking at the hourly chart, let me see. You see the 1 hour support zone here. The 1 hour support zones have been building up, but hey, $122 right now is not a terrible price in comparison to where we were just a couple weeks ago, where we literally just missed the $100 price point. But I do believe we will touch it again soon enough, like I said. So Tesla is just on my radar. I mean, it would be great to play intraday, catch one of these big moves, even like look at that drop or look at this gain. So yeah, if we can catch one of those, that would be awesome. There are also small mini gains. And then lastly but not least, we're going to look at Amazon stock. Why? Because this closed with a 14% weekly gain, which is the most it has gained since 2020. Yes, that dreaded year. So look at the weekly chart. Look at that green candle, guys, from $87 all the way up to $98. Here you can see it even better. Did we bottom out here? That is what I want to know. Long term, I honestly still see an upside of we're at $98, at least 50%. So at least 50%. I mean, it could easily be 100% returns on this stock. But right now, it's still in a rocky situation despite this great week. Let me just show you why. They're expected to announce more layoffs soon, I believe. And they have been, they've seen the stock price drop continuously over the last couple months. And now it has started to rise again a little bit. Let's see if we can break this $100 mark. If we can break this $100 mark, if that can happen, look, there's a nice little gap up to $110, and then further, I have my strong resistance around $125. That's that green line where it seemed to have bounced off of back in September. But there is a weekly resistance zone around $120. So let's see if we can break $100. If we can, then first price target 106, then 110, then we move up to 120 and then 125. So those are the price targets for Amazon. Now, let's look at the amazing SPX, which is the S&P 500 index. For those of you on Webull, you can trade this. For those of you on Robinhood, you cannot trade this. Look at that, nice. Is this a bottom? I do not think so, but it's definitely a nice strong level of support. Let us see. So we're trending towards 4,000, as you guys have seen. It managed to gain around 300 points this week, which is nice to see. That means the markets are slowly rising again. But hey, in a bear market, there are going to be some strong rallies, and this might just be one of them. If you are a long-term investor, look at the overall markets. Remember, most of your favorite stocks, your Apples, your Googles, your Amazons, your Microsofts, have plenty of potential, plenty of upside potential, but are still in a downtrend, trending below the moving averages, trending below, strong levels of resistance. And hey, one good thing I just seen is that these two moving averages, the 9 and 21, are curling up. That is nice. Looking at the MACD here, this seems to be on its way up as well. Some positive signs. Maybe it's a green January. Let's see. Lastly, let's have a quick look at the crypto sector. I'm going to look at Bitcoin. Here we go. Bitcoin is at 20K. Quite nice. On the daily chart, when you see something like this, just know that it's probably going to pull back a little bit. It can't just continue to run. But that is good. And if you do trade crypto, or you want to kind of trade Bitcoin, you can just trade Coinbase as well. Obviously now the markets are closed, but hey, gain 5% on Friday kind of gave you a little bit of an indication on what could potentially happen over the weekend. But yeah, futures are opening later on tonight, and that is pretty much it for this video, guys. If you're not in the Discord, the Royal Trading Academy, please come and check it out. We have a lot going on there. That's where we have the call outs, the chart breakdown, live trading. We have different discussion tabs there for you to put your input and also learn from others. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. Hit that red button below. It does not cost you anything. There are plenty of videos on this channel. I think my 5-year anniversary on YouTube is coming up in a few weeks, so that is pretty cool. And if you did enjoy this video, also make sure to drop a like, because it does help with the algorithm. Lastly but not least, please share these videos with your friends and help them get out to more people. That also helps with the algorithm. And for those who are new to option trading, please check out the stock option starter pack. That link is in the description below. You have those 10 videos and you have them for life. So you can watch them when you're traveling, when you're at home, wherever you like. But like I said, that is it for today's video, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Please check out my social media as well. The game's going up. We're increasing this year. We're making money this year, and we're continuing to help others improve daily. Thanks a lot for watching today's video. That's it from me. I got money making. You got money making. See you guys next time for another video. Peace.